The morning sun touched the small town of Riverdale, but for Maya Johnson, every day felt the same. Quiet, lonely, and invisible. She walked to school with her headphones in, pretending not to hear the laughter of other students passing by. They didn't notice her. No one ever really did. Maya wasn't the type of girl people paid attention to. She didn't wear fancy clothes or have the newest phone. Her hair was always tied in a neat bun, and her backpack was old but clean. She spoke softly, always polite, always calm. Maybe too calm for a world that liked loud people. At school, she sat in the second row near the window. She liked watching the trees outside because they didn't judge her. Every time she raised her hand to answer a question, the teacher's eyes passed over her, landing on someone else. And every time that happened, she told herself, "It's okay. Maybe next time," but next time never came. At lunch, she sat at the end of the cafeteria table. Her classmates filled the room with noise, laughter, selfies, jokes, while Maya quietly ate her sandwich, pretending to scroll on her phone. No messages, no notifications, nothing new. She had learned to act like it didn't bother her, but deep inside, it did. There was a small part of her that kept asking, "Why doesn't anyone see me?" One day, a group of girls from her class walked past her table. They were whispering and giggling. Maya tried to ignore them, but one of them, Tasha, the popular one, stopped and smiled at her. "Hey, Maya," Tasha said sweetly, "are you coming to the school party tonight?" For a moment, Maya's heart lifted. No one had ever invited her to anything. Sure," she said softly, smiling back. Tasha winked. "Cool. Wear something nice." That night, Maya spent an hour getting ready. She wore her favorite blue dress, the one her mom said made her look like the sky after rain. She looked at herself in the mirror and whispered, "Maybe this time will be different." When she arrived at the gym, music was blasting. The lights flashed red and blue. Everyone was dancing, laughing and having fun. For the first time, Maya felt like maybe she could belong. She spotted Tasha across the room and waved. Tasha looked at her, and then burst into laughter with her friends. That's when Maya saw it. On the big projector screen behind the DJ was a picture of her. Her face had been edited, her hair drawn wild, her smile twisted with the words, "The invisible girl tries to party." The crowd laughed. Some took pictures. Maya froze. Her chest hurt, her eyes burned. She wanted to disappear. She ran out of the gym, tears falling faster than she could wipe them away. Outside, the air was cold. The sound of laughter echoed behind her as she sat on the curb. Holding her knees, she told herself, "Don't cry. Maya, don't let them win," but she cried anyway. At that moment, she felt smaller than she ever had before. The next morning, she tried to act like nothing had happened. She walked through the school hallway with her head down. People stared. Some whispered. She could feel their eyes on her, not with kindness, but with cruel curiosity. When she opened her locker, something shiny caught her attention. There was a small piece of paper taped inside. Her hands trembled as she pulled it out. It said, "You don't belong here." Her heart dropped. For a few seconds, she just stared at the note, not sure what to think. Was it a joke? Another prank? Or something worse? She looked around. No one was near her, but she could feel it. Someone had been watching her. She tore the paper and threw it away. She told herself it was nothing. But deep inside, she knew something was wrong. The next day, another note appeared. This time, on her desk. Same handwriting, same message. "You don't belong here." Her hands shook as she read it. She looked around the classroom. Everyone was acting normal, like nothing strange had happened, but Maya could feel the air change. The walls seemed to close in. Someone was doing this on purpose. Someone wanted her to feel scared. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the notes, about the laughter, about how no one had ever cared to know her. But now, someone clearly did care, in the worst way possible. As the clock hit midnight, she whispered to herself, "Why me? What did I do?" She didn't know the answer, but she would soon find out that these small, cruel messages were only the beginning, the first signs of something much bigger, darker, and more personal than she could ever imagine, because the truth was waiting for her. and it was already closer than she thought. The next morning, Maya woke up before sunrise. The sky outside her window was still dark, painted in shades of blue and gray. She hadn't slept much. The words, "You don't belong here," kept echoing in her head like a song she couldn't turn off. At school, she tried to act normal. She kept her head down, walked fast, avoided eye contact, but she could feel it again. That strange, heavy feeling that someone was watching her. Every time she turned around, the hallway looked empty, but not silent. Whispers followed her, soft but sharp, like invisible fingers brushing against her neck. She reached her locker. For a second, she hesitated. Her hands were cold. Her heart was louder than the school bell. She opened it, and there it was, a new note, folded perfectly, placed neatly on top of her books. This time it didn't just say, "You don't belong here." It said, "Stop asking questions, or I'll show everyone who you really are." Maya froze, her breath caught in her throat. Who I really am. What did that mean? She hadn't asked any questions, and at least not out loud, but someone knew her. Someone wanted her scared. She shoved the note into her pocket and slammed the locker shut. The sound made a few students turn their heads, but Maya didn't care. She just walked away fast, pretending everything was fine, even though inside her world was spinning. In the classroom, things got stranger. Her notebook, the one she always left in her bag, was already open on her desk when she arrived, and written across one of the pages, in red ink, were the words, "I see you." Her hands began to shake. She looked around the room, scanning every face. Everyone looked normal, laughing, talking, scrolling on their phones. But someone in that room had done it. Someone knew things they shouldn't. After school, Maya went to the library, her safe place. It was quiet there, filled with the smell of old paper and dust. She sat in the corner behind the last row of books, trying to calm herself down. She pulled out her notebook to tear the page out, but something else fell from inside. A photo, a picture of her standing outside her house, taken from a distance. Her heart dropped. She remembered that moment, and she was feeding her cat the night before, which meant someone had been outside her house, watching her. The back of the photo had another message, written in the same red ink. "Meet me after school tomorrow. Behind the gym." I can tell you the truth. Maya's hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold the picture. Truth? What truth? She thought about throwing the note away. But curiosity was stronger than fear. For the rest of the day, she couldn't focus. Every sound, every shadow made her jump. Her friends, well, not really friends, just classmates, and whispered when she walked by. She didn't know if they were talking about her, or if she was just losing her mind. That night, it rained. Thunder rolled over the town like angry drums. Maya sat by her window, staring at the photo again. Her mom knocked on the door. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Maya quickly hid the photo under her pillow. "Yeah, Mom, just tired," she said with a fake smile. Her mom smiled back but looked worried. "You've been quiet lately." Maya forced a laugh. "I'm always quiet." Her mom nodded slowly, then left the room. Maya waited until the door closed. Then she whispered to herself, "Tomorrow, I'll find out who's doing this. No more being scared." But her heart didn't believe her words. Something about the message felt different, darker, and deep down, she felt like she was walking straight into a trap. The next day, the rain had stopped, but the ground was still wet. Classes passed in a blur. The clock seemed to move slower than usual. Finally, the last bell rang. Maya grabbed her bag and walked toward the gym. Her shoes made soft, wet sounds against the pavement. The air felt heavy, too quiet, too still. Even the birds were silent. When she reached the back of the gym, she stopped. There was no one there, only the sound of dripping water from the roof. For a second, she thought maybe it was just another cruel joke. But then, footsteps, slow, careful, coming closer. Maya turned around quickly. A girl stepped out from behind the trees. Tall, wearing a black hoodie, face hidden in the shadow. Maya's voice trembled. "Are you the one who's been leaving the notes?" The girl didn't answer. She just pulled something from her pocket, a folded paper, and handed it to Maya. Maya unfolded it with shaky fingers. It was another photo. This time, It wasn't her house. It was a picture of a woman holding a baby that looked exactly like Maya. The woman had warm eyes and a soft smile. Maya looked up, her lips trembling. "Who is she?" The hooded girl finally spoke, her voice low and calm. "That's your real mother." Maya froze. The world around her seemed to disappear. The trees, the gym, even the rain-soaked ground. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think, before she could speak. The hooded girl whispered one last thing. "She didn't die the way they told you." Then she turned and disappeared into the mist, leaving Maya standing alone, the photo shaking in her hand. That night, Maya didn't sleep at all. The image of the woman's face burned into her mind, and for the first time in her life, the words from the notes made sense. She didn't belong here because her whole life, her name, her family, her truth was built on a lie. The next day, Maya couldn't stop thinking about the girl in the hoodie. Her words echoed in her mind like a broken record. "That's your real mother. She didn't die the way they told you." Every time Maya closed her eyes, she saw the photo, the woman's kind face, her soft smile, and the baby in her arms. That baby was her, it had to be. But how did that stranger have it? And how did she know about her mother? Maya wanted to believe it was all a mistake, some cruel prank. But deep inside, she felt something she couldn't explain. A pull, like a voice whispering, "This is the truth." The school felt different that day. Every sound was sharper, every shadow darker. Maya noticed things she had never paid attention to before. The janitor watching her too long. The security camera blinking near her locker. The way certain students went quiet when she walked by. It was like everyone knew something. Except her. At lunch, she sat alone again, playing with her food, lost in thought. Then, from across the cafeteria, she saw her, the girl in the hoodie. She was standing by the door, half hidden behind a pillar, watching Maya. Their eyes met. Maya's heart skipped. She got up quickly, but by the time she reached the door, the girl was gone, vanished, just like before. That night, Maya couldn't keep it in anymore. She went to her mom's room. Her adoptive mom, Denise, was sitting on the bed, reading. "Mom," Maya said quietly, "can I ask you something?" Denise looked up, smiling softly. "Of course, honey. What's wrong?" Maya took a deep breath. Her hands were shaking. "Who is my real mother?" The smile on Denise's face disappeared. The air turned heavy. She slowly put the book down. "Why would you ask that?" I need to know," Maya said. "Please, tell me the truth." Denise's eyes filled with worry. "Maya, you're my daughter. That's all that matters." Maya felt tears building. "Then why did someone give me this?" She pulled the photo from her pocket and showed it to her. Denise's face went pale. For a moment, she didn't move. Didn't blink, her lips trembled. "Where did you get that?" Maya stared at her. "So it's true." Denise sighed, covering her face with her hands. After a long silence, she said softly, "Your mother? She was my best friend." Maya's world spun. "What do you mean?" She had problems," Denise whispered. "Things got bad. One night there was a fire, and you were found outside the house. I took you in. I raised you as my own." Maya shook her head, tears falling now. "That's not what the girl said. She said my mom didn't die in a fire." Denise's eyes widened. "What girl?" Maya froze. She realized she had said too much. I can't say." But Denise grabbed her hand, her voice trembling. "Maya, listen to me. Whoever told you that, stay away from them, please." "Why? Who is she?" Denise didn't answer. Her silence said everything. There was fear in her eyes, real fear. The next morning, Maya made up her mind. She needed to find that girl again. She needed the truth, all of it. After school, she walked behind the gym again. The place was empty, quiet. Only the wind moving the leaves. She waited. 5 minutes. 10. 15. Then she heard footsteps. The same girl appeared, wearing the same black hoodie, her face still hidden. "You came back," Maya said, her voice shaking. The girl nodded slowly. "I knew you would." Maya took a step forward. "Who are you?" The girl didn't answer right away. She reached into her pocket and pulled out something small, a silver locket. She handed it to Maya. Maya opened it carefully. Inside was a photo. The same woman again. But this time with both the hooded girl and baby Maya in her arms. Maya's breath caught.
"That's you," she whispered. The hooded girl nodded. "I'm your sister." Maya's mind went blank. Her knees felt weak.
That's not possible. The girl's voice cracked. It is. I was there that night. The night of the fire. I saw what happened. Maya stared at her. Then tell me. Tell me everything. The girl looked around nervously, her voice lowering. We can't talk here. They're still watching you. Who's watching me? Before the girl could answer, a loud sound broke the silence. A car door slamming nearby. The girl flinched. Stepping back, Maya turned around but saw nothing, just the shadow of a black car parked behind the trees. When she turned back, the girl was gone. Completely gone. On the ground where she had been standing was another note. Maya picked it up with shaking hands. It said, "Trust no one." Not even her, her stomach dropped. Her? Did that mean her mom? The car engine started. Maya looked up just in time to see the black car speeding away down the road. She ran a few steps after it, yelling, "Wait! Who are you?" But the only answer was the echo of her voice fading into the wind. That night, Maya sat on her bed, the photo and locket beside her. Her hands were cold, her mind racing. Everything she thought she knew was falling apart. Her family, her past, even her own identity. But one thing was clear now. Someone didn't want her to know the truth, and whoever that was, they were willing to do anything to keep her silent. As thunder rolled outside her window, Maya whispered to herself, I don't know who to trust anymore, but deep down, she knew one thing for sure. The moment she met that mysterious stranger, her life stopped being normal, and the real story had only just begun. The night after Maya met the mysterious girl, she couldn't sleep. The words kept echoing in her head. I'm your sister. They're watching you. Trust no one. Not even her. Her heart beat faster every time she thought about it. Her mother, the fire, the car that followed her. It all felt like pieces of a puzzle that didn't fit. Yet, at 2 a.m., she sat by her window, the moonlight cutting across her room. She stared at the silver locket on her desk. It shimmered faintly, as if calling her to open it again. Inside, the smiling woman, her real mother, stared back at her. Her eyes looked kind, but there was something else too, something hidden behind that gentle smile. Almost like fear. The next morning, Maya tried to act normal. She got dressed, ate breakfast, and avoided her mom's eyes. But Denise could tell something was wrong. You're quiet, she said gently, watching Maya sip her coffee. I'm just tired, Maya replied quickly. Denise smiled faintly. You've been tired a lot lately. Her tone was soft, but her eyes were sharp, almost studying her. Maya looked away. She felt like she couldn't breathe. Every word from her mom now sounded double-sided, sweet on the surface, but hiding something underneath at school. She felt like everyone was staring again. Whispers followed her in the hallway. Someone had written on her locker with red marker, You can't hide forever. Her stomach turned cold. Was it the same person leaving notes before? Or was someone else involved now? She ripped the words off the metal door and walked away fast, pretending she didn't care. But her hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold her bag. That afternoon, she didn't go home right away. Instead, she went to the old library downtown, a place hardly anyone visited anymore. The walls smelled like dust and rain, and the only sound was the slow hum of an old ceiling fan. She sat at a wooden table, pulled out her phone and started searching online. She typed, Riverdale Fire 2009 woman missing. The results loaded slowly. Then, there it was, an old newspaper article with a headline, House fire leaves one missing, child found alive. The photo underneath showed a burnt-down house and two names in the caption, Angela Brooks, missing. Maya Brooks. Rescued. Her eyes widened. Angela Brooks. That was her mother's name, but her last name was Johnson now, from Denise. The truth hit her like cold water. She wasn't Maya Johnson. She was Maya Brooks. Maya scrolled down, her hands trembling. There was another detail, something she almost missed. Authorities questioned local resident Denise Carter, Last seen with the missing woman hours before the fire. Maya's breath caught. Her mother, Denise, was there that night. She leaned back in her chair, heart pounding. The screen seemed to blur as tears filled her eyes. Everything she had believed her whole life, every bedtime story, every I love you was now tangled in lies. Her phone buzzed suddenly. A message. Unknown number. You found it, didn't you? Maya froze. Her heart felt like it stopped. Another message came seconds later. Now you know who she really is. Her hands shook as she typed back. Who are you? No reply, just those 3 dots blinking, and then disappearing. When she got home, the house was dark except for the light in the living room. Denise was sitting there, waiting. Maya hesitated at the door. Mom? Denise smiled faintly, but her eyes looked tired. You've been busy, she said softly. Maya's throat went dry. You've been watching me? Denise sighed. I had to. You've been asking questions that could get you hurt. Hurt by who? Maya snapped. By the same people who hurt your mother. Silence filled the room. Maya felt her knees go weak. What are you talking about? Denise stood up slowly. Her voice was calm but trembling. Angela, your mother. She got involved with people she shouldn't have. She was trying to protect you, Maya. That night everything went wrong. Then why did you lie to me? Maya's voice cracked. Why didn't you tell me? Denise stepped closer, tears in her eyes. Because the less you knew, the safer you were. Maya shook her head. No, I deserve the truth. Denise hesitated, then whispered, I didn't start the fire. But I was there. I tried to save her. I could only get you out. Maya stared at her, tears streaming down her face. If you didn't start it, then who did? Denise looked away. For a long time, she said nothing. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she said, Your father. Maya's world shattered. What? Denise nodded slowly. He was dangerous, Maya. The fire was never supposed to happen, but he wanted your mother gone. She was trying to expose him. Maya's voice broke. Where is he now? Denise looked her straight in the eyes. He's still out there, and he knows you're looking for the truth. Maya stumbled back, her mind spinning. The notes, the messages, the car. It all made sense now. Someone didn't want her digging deeper, because her father was alive, and watching her. Outside, thunder rumbled again, shaking the windows. Maya ran upstairs, locked her door, and sat on the floor, holding the locket tightly in her hand. She opened it once more and whispered, Mom, what really happened that night? The house creaked in the silence, then a soft ding from her phone, another message, no name. No number, just one line. You're next. Maya's hands went cold. Her heart raced. The screen flickered and went black. And in the dark reflection of her phone screen, for just 1 second, she thought she saw a shadow move behind her. The storm outside was loud that night, but not louder than the storm inside Maya's heart. She sat on her bed, the silver locket clutched tight in her hand. The last message still glowed on her phone screen. You're next. Her breath was uneven. Every sound in the house made her jump. The ticking clock, the creaking floor, the wind scratching against the window. She wanted to run, to hide, to scream, but something inside her whispered, Don't run. Find out the truth. So she did something she never thought she'd do. She went to the attic. It was dark up there, filled with old boxes and dusty air. The wooden floor creaked beneath her feet as she searched for, she didn't even know what. Her mom had always told her never to go up here, but now she knew. The attic was exactly where the truth was hiding. Maya found a large box with her name written on it in faded ink. She knelt down, brushed off the dust, and opened it. Inside were old baby clothes, some toys, a hospital bracelet with the name Maya Brooks, and a small stack of burnt photographs. Her hands shook as she lifted the first picture. It showed a woman holding a baby, her real mother, Angela. But in the background of the photo, half hidden in the shadows, was a man. He had sharp eyes, a thin smile, and a long scar across his neck. Maya gasped. It was the same man she'd seen in the nightmares that had haunted her since childhood, a man she'd never known, but always felt. Under the photo, she found a burned letter. Most of the words were gone, but a few lines were still readable. If anything happens to me, don't let him find her. He will come for her. Her hands trembled. The letter smelled faintly of smoke, the same fire that had destroyed her mother's home and her old life. Suddenly, she heard footsteps downstairs. Slow, careful, not her mother's. Maya froze. Her heart thudded so loudly she thought it might give her away. She crouched low, holding her breath. Then she heard her mother's voice, but it sounded scared. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" A man's deep voice answered, calm and cold. "Where is she, Denise? You know what I came for?" Maya's blood ran cold. She peeked through the crack in the attic floorboards. Down below, in the faint light, stood her mother, and the man with the scar. Denise's voice shook. "You shouldn't be here. Stay away from her." The man stepped closer. "I warned you not to hide her from me. She's my daughter." Maya's mind exploded. Her father, the man from the photos, the one her mother had tried to protect her from. "After what you did to Angela," Denise hissed. "You lost that right," he smirked. "Angela made her choice. I made mine." His voice was cold, like ice. "Now move." Denise reached into her pocket. Maya could see her hand trembling. She pulled out something small. "It's a taser." "Don't make me use this," she warned. The man laughed quietly. "You think you can stop me?" He moved fast. Too fast. He grabbed her wrist and twisted it. The taser clattering to the floor. Maya wanted to scream, but her voice was stuck in her throat. She could only watch in horror as her mother struggled. The man pushed Denise against the wall. "Where is she?" Denise's voice cracked. "She's gone. You'll never find her." His eyes darkened. "You forget. I always find what's mine." He raised his hand, and for a moment Maya saw something shiny, metallic, a knife. Her body moved before her mind could think. She climbed down the attic ladder, heart pounding, fear burning in her chest. "Stop," she screamed. "Leave her alone." Both of them turned. Her father's cold eyes met hers for the first time. And in that moment, Maya understood the word evil. "Hello, Maya," he said, smiling. "You look just like her." Maya's knees felt weak. "Stay away from me," she shouted, backing up. Denise tried to grab his arm.
"Run, Maya."
"Get out!" But he shoved her aside. "No one's leaving until I get what I came for." He stepped closer. Maya's back hit the wall. Her hands searched blindly until they touched something. A metal lamp. When he reached out for her, she swung it with all her strength. The lamp crashed into his shoulder. He stumbled, roaring in pain. Denise grabbed Maya's hand. "Go." They ran toward the back door, but he was already getting up. "I should have finished this years ago," he yelled. He grabbed a candle from the table and threw it across the room. It hit the curtains, and flames exploded upward instantly. The room filled with smoke. Maya coughed, her eyes burning. She could barely see. "Mom," she screamed, "I'm here." Denise grabbed her arm, pulling her toward the door. But a beam fell from the ceiling, blocking their way. "Go through the window," Denise shouted. Maya climbed up, glass cutting her hands. "Come with me," she cried. But her mother shook her head. "I have to stop him. Go." The smoke was too thick. Maya couldn't see anymore. Her last memory before the world went black was the sound of her mother screaming, and her father's cold laughter. When she woke up, she was outside, fire trucks, sirens, people shouting. Someone was carrying her, a firefighter. Through the smoke, she saw her house burning down. She called out for her mother, but no one answered. They told her later that only one person had been found, a child, her now, years later, sitting in the dark with tears running down her face. Maya finally remembered it all. The nightmares weren't dreams. They were memories. Her father had started the fire. Her mother had died trying to save her. And now, he was back. As lightning flashed outside her window, she whispered, "He found me again." The wind howled through the house, and somewhere far in the distance, a car engine started, slow, steady, familiar. He was coming. The rain hadn't stopped since the night of the fire. Every drop on the window sounded like a heartbeat. Slow, heavy, and full of memories Maya wanted to forget. But forgetting was no longer an option. The man with the scar was back. She could feel, That same cold fear that once lived in her, Bones as a child, was now awake again. She had spent years trying to rebuild her life, to smile again, to be normal, but the shadows never left. Now they were walking toward her. Maya sat in her small apartment, staring at the police report in her hand. She had gone to the station that morning, trembling as she told them everything about her father, the fire, and the threatening message. The officer had listened carefully, then said the words she didn't want to hear. Without proof, there's not much we can do. Proof. That was the problem. Her past had burned, literally. All that was left were memories, scars, and a name that haunted her dreams. Daniel Ward, her father. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept checking the locks, peeking through the curtains, listening to the silence between the thunder. Every sound felt like a warning. Then just after midnight, her phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. "Do you still have the locket?" Her breath caught. She looked down at the small silver locket resting against her chest, the one her mother had given her before the fire. Her fingers shook as she typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. "You already know." The phone slipped from her hand. Her heart started racing so fast she could barely breathe. She grabbed her bag, stuffed a few things inside, and ran out of the apartment. The streets were empty, wet, and silent. She didn't know where to go, only that she had to keep moving. But as she passed a dark alley, she stopped. There, half hidden by shadows, was a car. Black old engine running. She turned away quickly, pretending not to notice, but then a voice came from the darkness. "Running again, Maya?" She froze. Her body turned slowly, almost against her will, and there he was, the man with the scar. Her father. His face hadn't changed much. Same sharp eyes, same cold smile, only the scar looked deeper, darker, like it had grown with time. Maya stepped back, her voice shaking. "What do you want from me?" He chuckled softly. "You make it sound like I'm a monster." "You are," she snapped. "You killed her!" He sighed almost sadly. "Your mother was stubborn. She never told you the truth." "What truth?" "That the fire wasn't an accident. But it wasn't my fault either." Maya's eyes filled with anger. "You're lying." He took a slow step closer. "Think, Maya. Who told you I started that fire? Who showed you the pictures? Denise, right? But did she ever tell you why she took you away?" Maya's heart pounded. "You're trying to confuse me." "No," he said softly. "I'm trying to tell you what really happened." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an old photograph. The edges were burnt. The image faded, but in it Maya could see her mother and a woman she didn't recognize. "Who's that?" Maya asked. "That," he said, "is your real mother's sister, Angela's twin, Denise." Maya stared at him, her mind spinning. "That's not true. Denise raised me. She's my mother." He smiled coldly. "She made you believe that. She took you after the fire and disappeared. I searched for years. She lied to you, Maya. She told you I was the monster." Maya shook her head. "No, she saved me." He stepped closer. "Saved you from what?" "From the truth?" Maya's mind raced back to that night. The screams, the fire, the smoke. Her mother shouting run. Her father's shadow in the flames. But what if she hadn't seen everything? What if Denise had changed the story? Her father's voice broke through her thoughts. She wanted revenge. Your mother took something from her, and she took you to pay her back. Maya whispered, "Stop lying." He looked at her calmly. "You can check. There's a hospital record under your real name, Maya Ward. Look it up. You'll see who signed your birth certificate." She wanted to scream, but deep down, something about his words felt too specific, too sharp to ignore. Before she could respond, a light flashed, blue and red, a police car. Someone had called them. Daniel smiled faintly. "Looks like our time's up, Princess." He stepped back into the shadows. "You'll know soon enough who's been lying to you." Then he disappeared into the dark. Maya stood frozen, her heart thundering. The officer ran up to her. "Ma'am, are you all right?" She nodded weakly, but her mind wasn't here anymore. It was back in the past, when with Denise, with the fire, with the lies. She pulled the locket from her neck and opened it for the first time. Inside was a tiny folded paper. Her fingers trembled as she unfolded it. There were only 3 words written inside. Trust no one. Her whole world tilted. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. Don't let him find you. But now Maya wasn't sure who him really was. That night, she couldn't sleep. Every memory felt like a puzzle piece in the wrong place. Was Denise really her aunt? Had her whole life been a lie? She looked at the mirror, her reflection trembling in the dim light. For the first time, she didn't recognize the face staring back. Not because it looked different, but because she didn't know who she really was anymore. She whispered to herself, I need to know the truth, even if it destroys me. Outside, thunder rolled again, loud, deep, endless, and far away, a shadow moved through the rain, watching her window. The man with the scar wasn't gone. He was waiting. The world outside was quiet again. Too quiet. Maya stood at her window, watching the rain fade into mist. It had been 3 days since she last saw him, the man with the scar. 3 days of silence. 3 days of questions that burned louder than the fire in her memory. She hadn't gone to work. She hadn't slept. Her entire world now revolved around one word: truth. Was Denise really her mother? Was Daniel lying? Or was there something darker beneath it all? That night, Maya decided to find out once and for all. She sat at her desk with her laptop open, her hands trembling as she typed in the hospital's online archives. She entered her full name, Maya Brooks. Nothing. Then she typed. Maya Ward 1 file appeared. Her breath caught. She clicked it open. There it was. Her birth record, mother. Angela Ward, father. Daniel Ward, guardian. Denise Ward. Her body went still. The room felt colder. Denise was her mother's twin sister, and Daniel was her real father. Everything he said was true almost, because below that, there was another note written in red: child transferred to protective custody. Reason: domestic violence and attempted homicide. Maya's stomach twisted. That part Daniel didn't mention. Suddenly, she heard a sound, a faint click from the door. Her heart stopped. She turned. The door was open. And there he was. Daniel stood in the doorway, soaked from the rain, a calm smile on his face. Still searching for answers, my girl, he said softly. Maya stepped back, fear tightening her chest. How did you get in here? He shrugged. You never changed the lock. She reached for her phone, but he shook his head. Don't call anyone. I'm not here to hurt you. You already did, she whispered. You ruined everything. He sighed, taking a step closer. I didn't ruin anything, Maya. Denise did. She lied to both of us. Stop, Maya shouted. I saw what you did that night. I saw you. You saw what she wanted you to see, he snapped. His voice cracked for the first time. She set that fire, not me. She wanted me dead. And she almost took you too. Maya froze. Her mind replayed the memory. The screaming, the smoke, her mother's voice. But in that chaos, she never actually saw who lit the fire, only shadows, only fear. Daniel stepped closer. She blamed me because she couldn't live with what she did. Ask yourself, and if I wanted to kill you, why save you that night? Maya hesitated. Save me? I carried you out, he whispered. I put you outside before the house collapsed. I went back for her, but it was too late. Tears filled his eyes. For the first time, he didn't look like a monster. He looked like a man broken by his own past. Maya shook her head. You're lying. You have to be. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, an old photo, half burned. In the picture, a man was carrying a little girl away from flames. The girl was her, and the man was him. Her knees weakened. She sat down slowly. The truth hit her harder than any scream or fire ever could. Her whole life, every fear, every memory, and was built on a lie. But before she could speak, there was another sound, the faint creak of the hallway floor. Both turned toward it. A figure appeared at the doorway. It was Denise. Her clothes were wet from rain, her face pale, her eyes sharp. I told you to stay away from her, she hissed. Daniel's voice hardened. You should have told her the truth. The truth? Denise laughed bitterly. You mean how you destroyed her mother's life? How you hurt Angela so badly she tried to run from you? Maya's eyes darted between them. Stop it, both of you! But they kept going, voices rising like thunder. She was leaving me, Daniel shouted. You turned her against me. She was terrified of you, Denise screamed. You think she set that fire? You did, I saw you throw the lamp. Maya's breath caught. The air grew heavy. The pieces of her past were crashing together. Two versions of the truth. Both twisted, both broken. Then Denise turned to Maya, tears streaming down her face. I took you because I had to. You were all she had left. I didn't want you to become like him. Daniel's voice was cold now. You stole my daughter. You stole my life. And you killed hers, Denise whispered. The silence after that felt endless. The rain outside stopped. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Maya stood up. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. Enough, she said quietly. I don't care who started the fire. I don't care who's lying anymore. I just want to end this. Her eyes filled with tears. You both destroyed everything I ever knew. You both took my childhood, but I won't let you take the rest of my life. She stepped between them. Leave. Both of you. Don't ever come near me again. Denise's lips trembled. Daniel lowered his eyes. For the first time, they both looked small, like ghosts of who they once were. Daniel walked to the door. Pausing only for a moment, he looked back at Maya. You're stronger than both of us, he said quietly. Then he disappeared into the rain. Denise stood there crying silently. I just wanted to protect you, Maya nodded. Maybe you did. But I need to protect myself now. Denise turned and left, and then there was only silence. Maya walked to the window and looked out into the dark street. The rain had finally stopped. The air smelled like something new, something clean. She opened the locket one last time. Inside, behind the tiny paper that said, Trust no one, she found another folded note she had never seen before. It was burned at the edges, but the words were clear. Maya, if you ever find this, don't hate them. They both loved you in their own broken way, but now it's your turn to live. Mom! Maya smiled through her tears. The truth wasn't black or white, it was fire. Painful. Dangerous but cleansing. She whispered into the quiet. I forgive you. Then she closed the locket, took a deep breath, and stepped into the morning light. For the first time in years, the world didn't feel heavy. For the first time, she wasn't running from the past, she was walking toward her future. End of story. Black Girl Reality. The moment everything changed.